We've got rain coming for next week in dry parts of New Zealand. Hello, I'm Philip Duncan. Thank you for joining us. We're tracking some rainmakers around the country over the next few days. It's a little hit and miss, but around Tuesday next week, there may be a greater chance of some widespread rain, or at least some widespread showers across the country, and in particular, some of our driest regions. So let's get into it. We've got the animated wind map showing low air pressure today in this blue-purple colouring, so you can see that off to the southwest, and this large low off to our northeast. It's large, but it's very weak, and it's only producing a little bit of wind around coastal areas. And by the way, that wind is a little cool around the eastern side, but the flip side is for other areas like Taranaki, Waikato, King Country, Auckland, and up towards Northland, it is a hot, sunny afternoon. Bit of patchy rain in that northeastern corner as well. Similar story down towards Fiordland. So this is how we look to end the working week. We've got a burst of rain returning to the west coast. Now, after the deluge you had last week and the slips and the flooding and the road closures, we're paying a little more attention to this one than we normally would. But overall, this is not a major event, but it will be raining for much of Friday, easing in the evening, and then it should clear overnight with maybe just a couple of showers first thing in the morning over on the west coast or up in the mountains. The winds are a little bit breezier from the west, and that will lift up temperatures around the eastern side of the North Island, where it's been a little cooler the last couple of days. It warms back up again on Friday. So let's get into the weekend. Now, we do have the leftovers of that west coast rain band reaching the upper North Island. It will actually fall apart and then ignite again during the day with afternoon heating. So it may not be a lot at first, but then later in the afternoon, potentially some heavy downpours, maybe an isolated thunderstorm as that tracks by. There might also be a downpour or thunderstorm out over on the eastern side and also down around coastal Otago. On Sunday, the risk for some downpours increases as the day goes on. Should be a fairly dry morning, but the afternoon sees some downpours drifting from off at sea. Now, that's always a little bit complicated. Sometimes they fall apart when they come into land. Other times, the daytime heating actually helps make them even bigger. So we'll be keeping a close eye on Sunday. I think you'll find the forecast may chop and change a little bit as we try and work out which areas in this risk zone, because it's not all rain. It just means that's the area with the highest chance of downpours as that starts to drift in with a humid northwesterly, coming out of the subtropics. And that takes us into next week. So warmer weather coming out of the northern areas will spark downpours, patchy rain, and maybe some thunderstorms into the afternoon around the North Island, with the highest risk being inland and out to the west. There's a bit of a breeze that should keep eastern areas fairly sunny, but some of those downpours might drift over the ranges in the afternoon. And then we've got the low pressure system itself growing, and it's in a perfect position to do that because there's a big high building over Tasmania and an even bigger high departing from us. So in the middle, you've got a southerly coming up on that side of the high and a northerly flow coming down on that side of the departing high. That's a perfect recipe to spin a low pressure system. So that starts on Monday and deepens, but it's Tuesday when it starts to move in. So you've got this tropical band of rain with isolated big downpours, maybe a thunderstorm or two, and other areas will be dry with drizzle spells and a few spits. So it's hit and miss. Not everyone has this, but the good news is there's a couple of days with a good chance of rain in some of our driest regions. So that is the good news. If we can get some good downpours in there before Christmas, that will take the pressure off farmers and growers and those who rely on rainwater, which a number of your batches might do. So this is some good news, and hopefully we can get it all cleared away before Christmas arrives, which is getting closer and closer. That is all from me. We're back again tomorrow with the latest for the weekend and the outlook for next week.